Hi, I'm Nikki Cottom, and I am an emotion code and body code practitioner. I'm so grateful that you're taking the time to watch this video. I want to explain to you how a body code or emotion code sessions will go. So if you're thinking about doing a session and you have no clue how it works, this is the video for you. I'm going to try to make this brief, but also explain it in enough detail that you don't have a million questions when you finally book with me and you're like, how does this work? What do I need to know? And all of that. So hopefully I will highlight some of your questions. And if I miss any, feel free to reach out to me. So the emotion code and the body code were founded by the same guy who wrote this book, Dr. Bradley Nelson. The updated version of the book actually looks like this. So if you're thinking about going on Amazon to buy the emotion code book, this is on Amazon, and this is what the more recent copy looks like. But if you happen to find one like this, it's great too. This is the one I bought when I was learning about the emotion code. And this is the one I bought because it's updated. Okay, so I've got copies of both. All right, so how it works. So if you are into healing your body naturally in non-invasive ways, you might start to notice patterns with your health related to your emotional health. Okay, so for example, when I was young, I had a lot of experiences that caused me to think that I was never going to be good enough, that I was ruined, that I had too much trauma to be worth it. I had a lot of problems like that growing up. And so that bled into my teenage years. I tried really hard to keep a good relationship with God, but I didn't really feel like He loved me to the degree that He does. So I didn't realize that. That also bled into me feeling with more unworthiness issues and things like that. Okay, so that's just a little background for me. So as I started getting into adulthood, I started developing a lot of issues, problems, physical problems, and didn't really know where to turn. I went to, I'd go to the doctor. The doctor would say, I know that I can figure out this and this and this, but I'm not really sure about this. And I wanted answers. I wanted to know that there was something I could do to take care of myself that wasn't just waiting till things got bad enough to finally go to a doctor and then going through all these medications and procedures and side effects and all of that. I wanted to get to the root and just say, hey, I know my body can heal itself, but apparently I'm doing it all wrong, right? So if you've been there, you're not alone. So here's how the emotion code works. The emotion code works to address those deep rooted emotions that are commonly trapped inside of our bodies, inside of our hearts, that might be blocking us from really feeling worthy or giving and receiving love. Those things might be trapped in our kidneys, in our lungs, in other places. And when those emotions get trapped there, the brain is constantly sending signals to those areas like you're not good enough and this isn't working for you and things will never work out the way you want and you're alone and all of these other things. Okay, so if you have a lot of negative self-talk, you probably have some, trapped emotions going on too. If you find that you get angry really easily, if you find that it's not very easy for you to forgive somebody, that you often think that other people are trying to take advantage of you, and maybe they are, and then that's a boundary thing. But what I'm thinking about is, if you're often on edge, stressed, have anxiety, that type of thing, there are some emotional things that need to be addressed. So what I will do with the emotion code is, with your permission, as with your permission, I will be able to tap into your subconscious mind. And what that looks like is, if you've ever walked into the room and felt the energy of the room, kind of like, oh, somebody's angry in here, or why is everyone scared, or, just nervous. And if you've ever picked up on those vibes, you'll know what I'm talking about when you pick things up from other people's energy field. Okay, but when you give me permission, what I'm going to do is very respectfully tap into your subconscious, which means that I will put all of my stuff to the side for you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pick up on this antenna that you're putting out. Okay, so when you say yes, that I can do this work for you, I will also double check to see if on my end I'm getting a yes too, because I've had experiences where people have told me yes, but really didn't want me to do anything. Subconsciously, they're like, I'm not ready for this. It's very, very rare. But whenever I've never had that problem with somebody coming to me in a session, that's just kind of been like, you know, on the surface kind of thing in a conversation. Usually people are a little bit more uptight. But in a session, a lot of times people are comfortable with saying, you know, I'm ready to let this stuff go. And yeah, Nikki, go ahead and connect with me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use muscle testing. Now, if you don't know what muscle testing is, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but you can look it up. There's tons of videos on YouTube and other places that explains muscle testing and how it works, how it's been used for thousands of years in Chinese medicine and other things like that. But basically, when you hear a truth, your muscles are strong. When you hear a lie, your muscles get weak, which is why when you're testifying with something you know, you feel stronger, maybe nervous, but stronger. When you tell a lie, you're like, you know, your muscles get weak, you're not as stable, that type of thing. Does that make sense? So when I connect with you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to test, and there are lots of ways to muscle test. Maybe some people have seen the arm test. What I like to do is the ring and ring method, where you just kind of put your fingers together to make a ring, and you ask yes, no questions. So I'm going to ask, for example, can I connect with you? And if I get a yes, then yes, okay? And then I can ask other questions like, is there an emotional imbalance going on that we can know about? Okay. And if I get a yes, then yes. If is there a mental imbalance we can know about? Is there a physical imbalance we can know about? Is there something going on with boundaries that we need to address? Okay. So all of those things are things that we can address. Now I'm going to show you really quick my screen so you can see the body code app. Now we talked a little bit about the emotion code. And so what is the body code? So the body code is like so if you think about the emotion code as addressing these emotional things, the body code is like taking that, but figuring out all the physiological and the anatomy behind it. So for example, when I dealt with a miscarriage, which is actually what led me to this, because I was experiencing a lot of emotional trauma, depression, all of that. Like everything was thrown off in my body. I was devastated physically, emotionally, mentally, everything. So when I went through that, I needed answers. My body was falling apart. Nothing worked right. So anyway, I realized that emotionally, I actually had trauma trapped in my body from that, plus all my years and years before that of past trauma. So I'm going to show you just what I mean about the emotion code just being one tiny part of the overall body code. So when you book a session with me and you're like, do I pick emotion code or body code? I usually have them lumped together because I think that if you want to just focus more on emotions, we can totally do that. But some people find it fascinating to figure out where those emotions are stored and what other things they're contributing to, what other imbalances in the body they're contributing to. So let me show this to you. I'm sharing my screen with you. Hopefully you see this. So right here it says the body code right here on the left. And then I do have notes put up. These are fake notes, okay? I'm not sharing anybody's personal information. I would never do that without permission. This is made up information. These are common things that people come to me with concerns about though. So what do you see? You see energies. Okay, let me show you where the emotions are. This top left corner of the body code app. Okay, you'll see energies down here at the bottom right, emotional. Okay, so this is the emotion code right here in a nutshell. The emotion code is this. You can see on the right of this app that there are 2 columns and 6 rows of trapped emotions. There are 60 altogether. Now, what we can do is I can muscle test you to see which emotions are trapped in the body, what age they got trapped. And then in your mind, you might be like, oh, yeah, it was at that age that this happened, or this happened in my life, or this happened to me. And then once we figure that out, then this is where the magic happens. What happens is your subconscious, where we're pulling all this information from that stores everything you've ever known in your entire life and beyond back here. And then you have your, just how you're listening to me, how you're processing what I'm saying in your memory right here. So in your conscious mind. All right. So when we pull the information out of our subconscious that we may not even realize is there. So for example, like abandonment that happened at age 6. Okay. And you're like, oh, that was when this happened, or we moved, or a parent left me, or whatever. So at age 6, okay, so we find that information, and your conscious mind, the one that's engaging with me right now, your conscious mind says, yeah, I don't really want that there anymore. And your subconscious says, I'm ready to let it go. So between those two, that's really where the magic happens. But I do have, you can see, this handy dandy massage magnet. This is like, just a magnet that you could roll across somebody for massages or whatever. Magnets like a refrigerator magnet, but they're just round and stuff like that. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run this magnet over the governing meridian because I'm connected to you. And if it's something you've picked up on your own, not inherited, then I'm just going to roll the magnet 3 times. If it's something you've inherited from an ancestor or a parent, it's going to be 10 times. Okay. And what that's going to do, just like a magnet pulls something of the opposite polarity, we're going to pull those negative energies just right out. And what's interesting, and this isn't anything insane, it's just us being connected. Some people do feel it on their end, because we're going to do this over video. Some people do feel on their end, wow, like this is pretty amazing. I actually felt that tingle. I feel like something is actually leaving me, and that's energy. Okay. So this negative energy, this negative trapped emotion, baggage can leave. Okay. So that's the cool thing about the emotion code. And there's always different levels of how many are in the body. And I make no judgment about that. We just work until your body's happy with where we are. And sometimes it takes more than one session, and that's okay. Usually to clear a heart wall, it takes anywhere between 2 and 5 sessions, which is fine. When I finally got my heart wall cleared up, my whole body it went into a state of homeostasis. I was healthier. My immune system was better. My reproductive system was better. My mental state was better, because the heart is actually where we want to lead our lives from. And when we're leading with our heart, things fall into place, right? We feel in alignment, things fall into place. Our heart actually has the power to heal everything else. So if our hearts are blocked up with this heart wall, these trapped emotions, this baggage we're hiding behind this wall of I never want to be hurt again, kind of like a bomb shelter. If we're trapping all our emotions and our emotions behind that, then it's going to be really difficult for us to give and receive love, because it's like, no, I don't want to be hurt again, and all of that. So if we're in a place where we are ready to truly heal and really get vulnerable and live our lives the way we are ready to live them, then we are ready to pull those away. So our hearts can go bright, so we can be more open, so we can feel like, yes, despite what happened in my past, I am worthy of love. I am worthy of happiness, joy, success. And it's just amazing what happens in the physical body when the emotions align. And when the negative emotions clear and the positive emotions are aligned, and we just feel so empowered and free and light. In fact, after most sessions with individuals, they say that they experience relief, relaxation, like the stress is washed away, like they have another chance, like they just feel lighter, like they don't have this baggage weighing them down. So that's the emotion code. Why I like the body code is that it doesn't only encompass this small part. Like I said, we started at the beginning, we went to energies, then we went to emotional. This is just a subsection of the entire body code. And I'm not going to show you all the different aspects, but energies has a tendency to be more toward our mind, our emotions, the things that we can't see with a microscope or medical testing, that type of thing. Okay. Then there are other things like misalignments in our body right here, circuits and systems where we address certain systems being off, and toxins that are commonly causing blockages in our body, pain and all of that stuff, pathogens right along there with toxins, that's viruses, bacteria, etc. Misalignments like in the spine, in the head in the bones, in the tissues of the body, etc. And then nutrition and lifestyle gives you a glimpse into things that might be helpful for you to improve your overall wellness. So maybe you need more of this food in your body. Maybe you need less of this food. Maybe your body just wants it will feel overall better if you do this for yourself. Get this more color in your life, yada, yada. So I'm really excited to figure out what's going on with you. Just like this video I'm doing with you, you'll be able to see as we go through everything that comes up for you. And what I do is I type it all into notes as best as I can, and then I'll email you those notes after the session is over. And if you want to message me any questions afterward, you can. If there's anything that comes up right away in the next day or two after our session, or even longer after that, you can text me and just say, hey, I'm developing a weird symptom or something. Is this related to something we did, or is this normal? In which case, then you can give me permission just for a minute to connect with you, not on a video, just giving me permission remotely. And I'll just tune in with you, muscle test a few things, say, oh, that may be another imbalance coming up that's like, I'm ready to be released now too. Or it could be just a symptom of some of this bigger stuff that we've cleared up, that the body's just having to heal from releasing because it's been stored in there and it's been yucky for so long that the body's really having to work hard to finish clearing that up. And so it's normal or fine, or you just have to play that by ear. But you're always welcome to text me, and I'm always happy to go in there for just a minute or two and just see if it has to do with anything that we worked on, yada yada. So I'm very open to all of that. So just so you know. All right. So that's a little bit in a nutshell how the body code works. I'm sure you'll have a buttload more questions, which those will be much easier to answer when we log on to a session like this, but it will be most likely on Zoom. And so I'll give you the link. When you book your appointment, you'll get your confirmation email with the Zoom link, and you'll also get an email that has an agreement form for you to sign that basically you recognize I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to replace your doctor. I'm not diagnosing, curing, preventing any diseases, treating anything. We're just working with your body to get it into a more balanced state where your body can heal itself and you can experience more joy, happiness, and overall healing and wellness. And we can figure some things about your body that maybe would never be able to be figured out in a medical test or even in years of therapy. So I'm really excited for you to jump on this journey with me. I have 1 hour sessions and half-hour sessions, so you're welcome to look at either of those. And I also have mini sessions, mini remote sessions. And what mini remote sessions are is they're cheaper sessions, but what ends up happening is we don't do a video like this where I'm talking to you and you're talking to me and answering questions. But what I will do is have you just sign up for a mini session, and you'll write all your concerns in certain boxes. And then in my own time, within 24 to 48 hours, usually of when you book that slot, I will just text you and say, hey, I am about to do your mini session. Just keep in mind if you feel like fluctuation in energy or feel like somebody is working with you or praying for you. That's more what it feels like, is when somebody prays for you, you kind of feel that. That's kind of what it feels like when I'm doing this work. But we're not going to be on a video. You're going to be like doing your regular normal life stuff, just being aware that I'm over here on my end, working on you. And then I will type up all the notes. I will email that to you, and you can go through that and be like, oh, that's why I feel more peace about this, because that cleared. And what happens is, so that subconscious information that's stored back here that I've pulled up to the front, your subconscious is already to let it go. And I've already done the process of rolling the magnet and all of that. So you, on your end, you just have to read it. And your conscious mind is like, bam, 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 bam. Yep. I'm good with all those things, letting those things go. And then the rest of it just washes off. So that's the beautiful thing about the mini session, is that it's way cheaper, and you don't have to, a lot of people do it because they're busy and they either their schedules don't work with me, or they don't have the funds, in which case they're like, I still want to do something for my body. And so they'll book mini sessions every month or every couple weeks or whatever, which is fine too. So anyway, I'm sure you'll have more questions, and that's totally fine. Feel free to jump onto my website, leveragewellness.com, or even on Facebook /Leverage Wellness is my Facebook page, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, or even just send me a message. So I am Nikki Cottom, and I'm so excited to work with you. I'm non-judgmental. You can see lots of reviews. I'm open-hearted. Like I said, I've been through, and I'm still going through my own work. And so, I feel like everyone's at a different place in their journey, and I'm excited for whichever point you're at, and to help you advance and leverage your wellness in whichever direction you're headed. So thanks so much for joining me for this quick video about how the emotion code and the body code works. And I will talk to you soon.